In this video, I want to run through house and land packages across the Brisbane, Logan and Ipswich area, and probably just house and land packages in general. Before I jump into that, hey, I'm Nathan from Envision Property. Over the last 4 years, I've been working as a buyer's agent, in particular, mainly in the Brisbane area. We've purchased over 100 investment properties for clients. In these videos, I just want to run through all the things that come up in my strategy calls and strategy sessions with investors to best help you navigate the market and understand the Brisbane market. So let's jump into it. When it comes to the house and land package market, it's all based off a big network. Essentially, you've got a lot of companies like investment firms that they need to get stock for their clients. So I guess the best way to start is really, as a property buyer's agent myself, one of the biggest hurdles I have is trying to find stock for clients. It's not really trying to get clients because, they do come through quite a bit, but it's more around trying to find deals below market value that rent out, that have good value add perspectives. That's the tricky part, getting stock. So these bigger investment firms, once they open up the gates for house and land packages, they've got an abundance of house land packages. And to top it off, for them, they make anywhere from $30,000 as a bare minimum to upwards of $50,000 just to sell one house and land package. I know it's crazy. That's how much they will give you to sell one of these house and land packages. This is the part where you need to do your numbers. So, areas like, I could probably say more around, we'll start with Logan. So around a Logan Reserve and Marsden and Crestmead and that little pocket of Logan and Brisbane, you can get a block of land. It will probably cost you anywhere from, say, 350 grand to be, you might get a 300 square meter block for around that price. But by the time you add your build on it, you're looking at 350,000 because everybody needs to put their commissions in it. You're spending a close to 700k as a bare minimum. It's more like 750k. But in and around those suburbs, you can get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, probably only four years old, for around 600k. There's a difference of around 150,000 in some cases. And that's where I just can't get the numbers to stack up for clients. It's like, you've got this property for 750k now. All the other 4-bed, 2-baths are selling for 600, 650. So you're going to have to wait maybe 5-10 years to get that capital growth, rather than getting a property that was maybe 550k, where the other ones are selling around 600. So the chances of that one going from 550 to 650 is a lot. It's highly likely, rather than a property going from 750 to 850, especially when they're already that far out from the CBD. So I really just wanted to build awareness around this, because I get companies reach out to me all the time around selling house and land packages, and I would provide them to clients if the numbers stacked up, but in most cases in these situations they just don't, and I just really wanted to build that awareness around, hey, if somebody's saying that they're a property investment firm, you still need to go do your checks. When I find a property deal for a client, I provide them with an area report, suburb report, comparable sales, and I give them all the information to make a logical decision to work out, hey, is this investment going to catapult me to the next property purchase, or am I going to have to wait 5 to 10 years to then leverage just to get your next asset? So that really sort of covers off the idea around the house and land packages. So the salesperson that sells a house and land package, they make 30 to 50 grand. They then bolt that onto your property purchase. So when you go to buy a house and land package in, say, Brisbane or even across Australia, just do your research. Jump on realestate.com, jump into the sold section. You can filter it quite easily by 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and just scan through those properties. If you're looking at spending 750,000 and all these other 4-bed, 2 baths are selling for under 600k, that's a massive gap, and it's going to make it really hard for you to catapult to your next property. But in the same scenario, these house and land packages do work. So where are the pros for house and land packages? This is where it kind of probably, a lot of you guys probably wouldn't be buying in this price range, but you look at inner city suburbs like within Brisbane, within 10 kilometers where land is very valuable. So you can buy a block of land, a house on 3-bedroom, 1-bath house on 600 square meters for $1 million. And then you knock it down and you do a new build at about $1 million. And then you resell that new build at around $3 million. I've got a client that's done this over seven times. He's currently got 4 on the go at the moment, but in that scenario, he's already going to get that $1 million. But not everyone has that cash flow and has the time to manage something like that. So if you want to downgrade it a bit more, you want to then look at, you're looking at a house and land package, say in Logan, for example. Maybe look at, hey, how cheap can I get that block of land? Because that's where you're going to get your entry point in, and then you really want to shop around to get the cheapest builder to build that. But then that's another con where I think with the house and land packages, they don't settle straight away. So right now is a very, very, very fragile time when it comes to builders. A lot of builders have been building at a loss. So any moment now they could go bankrupt, especially these builders that have built these cheaper style properties over the last 2 years with only margins of 20,000-30,000, because the majority of the money is made by the salesperson at the front, the person that sells a house and land package. The builder only generally makes 20 or 30 grand per build, but they sell a lot of them. So the guy that's selling you that house and land package, he's ultimately the one that's making the most money out of the whole transaction, which is quite funny. But just think of those key parts. So we want to think about comparable sales when you're looking at a house and land package. And if you go down that house and land package part, really do your due diligence on who the builder is. Just see how many builds they're doing. Just make sure they're not going to go bankrupt. That's the main thing. And also, the third thing is really look at your finances. With the way the interest rates go up and down and the way they calculate servicing, will you still be able to service this when the build's finished? Because you still need to settle it not in 4 weeks, but in 6 months, and a lot can happen in 6 months. I'll probably just share a quick example of a property I've got under contract myself personally. So it's out in Logan, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. I picked it up for $495,000, and it sits on 840 square meters of land. What that means, it's built in 1985, so it doesn't have all that depreciation and all of that, but the block, you can subdivide it down the track, so I can probably get 2 400 square meter blocks. The house will rent for around $480 per week. I bought it below market value. It's easily worth $550K. So straight away, I've made that $50K equity. I put $120,000 down, 20% deposit, stamp duty and everything like that. And I'm already 50 grand up. And it's already there's already had a sale, which I haven't quite settled on this property, but there's already a sale that came through at $600K for a renovated one that's like mine. So many ways for me to then leverage that first $120,000 and go to the process of doubling that money. And then I could easily go and leverage that property very soon and pull out some equity and then go on to the next property. So I'm going to jump into some areas around Brisbane right now and some commentary around the pros and cons to help you better understand, where should you buy this property in Brisbane, and also the way that the Brisbane market's working in regards to capital growth. So then this can help you decide where you're going to buy and how you're going to tackle this. So I love this page. We've got just a CoreLogic heat mapping. There's heaps of heat maps, which is a good tool to use for finding little pockets where there's still room for growth. But as you can see, what's happening in the city, it's getting very dark purple. So we're having a massive sort of ripple effect. And in a city, you're looking at spending at least $1.2 million for a older 3-bedroom, 1-bath. So I'm out, like for example, I'm helping a client in this little suburb here, Carina. He's selling his old 3-bedroom, 1-bath for $1 million, or he's already sold it, and I'm helping him relocate out in an area called Capalaba, which is probably around 25 kilometers just over here. And we're going to buy him a 3-bedroom, 1-bath on a big piece of land, which he wants, with a big shed for $700K. He's cashing out, he's going out, but like Capalaba, the 3-bedroom, 1-bath is $700K, and that's $20K's out. So that's really where we open up that conversation around, where are we going to be chasing growth at the moment? And does it make sense to buy a house and land package in those areas? So we'll probably go to 2 main areas, which is going to come up quite a bit. It's your Logan and Ipswich areas. And if we start off in the Logan area, you can see we've got a bit of the dark purple going down the center between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, and then it's sort of spreading out. But so we've got Rochedale over here, which is just insane growth, and then you've got this other corridor around Daisy Hill, where it's quite expensive, but you can get a big block of land. So if you got $1 million, you want a big piece of land, get a 4-bedroom, 2-bath there, it will still yield all right. But you can still get, if you got $1 million, I'd probably rather go in the city. But a lot of these house and land packages are probably sold around this Logan Reserve area and Marsden area, and they're going for around $750K. But as you can see, it's still quite a light under $500K market. So you're really going to be buying in at $750K, when if you're going to spend $750K anyway, you're better off going over to maybe Daisy Hill or Capalaba, where it will yield quite better, but it won't be brand new, but you're more than likely to have more growth, because in Daisy Hill and Capalaba, they already have property sales up at $1 million, rather than in Logan Reserve. They don't really have many $1 million sales on 400 square meters. So I hope that sort of makes sense. When we go into Logan, we really want to avoid, I don't want to say like bad way, but in regards to Kingston and Kingston, Woodridge, Slacks Creek, Logan Central, the median income in those areas is around 1,100. Rather than if you go over just to Marsden and Regents Park and Crestmead, you're going to get the median income more so around that 1,500 to nearly $2,000, and you're going to get a better tenant, and it's just a better location where, by better I mean that a lot of families would rather live in this side, even though it's a bit further away, which is a bit contradicting. It's a bit further away from the actual major highway, which is the Pacific Highway, and it's a bit further away from Brisbane. It's maybe a couple Ks, but yeah, so if you're looking in that Logan area, you would like to target your Crestmead, your Marsden, Hillcrest, and just that little pocket on that side of town, even Waterford West. So right here, you can see how it's sort of dark purple. It's almost like it's caving in. So it's all dark purple around here. This is all acreage on the side. And then it comes in and you've got these smaller blocks. But, when you get to Logan, you've got really good transport hubs. You've got, your buses to get to Brisbane. If you go to Logan Lee, you're going to have the train line. But obviously you're going to then drop off to probably not as much of a desirable location. So Crestmead, Marsden, those areas you're going to have, there's a bus station in Browns Plains. It gets them straight to Brisbane straight away if they work in the city. So there is the transport there to get them into the city. So that's, if you're buying in those areas, you can aim for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. There's a number of strategies you can sort of deploy. So you can go in for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, trying to get in at that really low price point in a good area, say for $500K. And even if you get lucky, you can get a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, like what I got, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, where you could either add a granny flat or subdivide it. So those are, a triple threat. So you get all three of those. Or alternatively, you can go for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Maybe something that was about 10 years old, low maintenance. There's a ton of reasons why it's got room there for growth. You can quite visually, that's why I like to use this heat map. You can see all around it this dark purple. Properties going for 1.5 million, 1 million, just one suburb in. So there's definitely that scope. People are just getting priced out and are getting pushed out into these cheaper suburbs, and that's of course that ripple effect. So Brisbane's not really driven too much by investors like other markets. It's really heavily driven by families and people just wanting to buy their first home, relocate, upsize, downsize. There's just this whole owner-occ, what I call, market. And these areas are really tricky to get into. You're competing with buyers that have been looking for anywhere from 6 months to 12 months, even 18 months. So they're at that stage where they've got that buyer fatigue. And what happens when they get at that stage is then they get to an open home and they just go, I'm over it. I'm just going to pay an extra 20, 30, 40 grand to get it done, because they just want to get into a property, and that's what pushes that growth up. Or they say, I'm over it. I'm going to the next suburb out, same budget. And that's what's really driving the market, because a lot of the locals have sort of worked it out as well. They're like, oh, wait, why am I paying 750K when I can just buy an existing 4-bedroom, 2-bath for 600K? And, it's only 2 years old. Why am I spending so much extra? And then that's what's really put a massive constraint on the Brisbane market. They're not creating any new, there's not many new dwellings getting built, because it's just cost too much. And this is where we're in this phase, in this growth phase, what you call the 18.6 year cycle, where we have no more supply. It sort of just stops because it doesn't make sense to build anymore. And then you get high demand, and then demand just pushes the prices up. We jump over to the Ipswich area. So the pockets that I've been targeting mainly are closer to the Springfield Lakes side of town, because Springfield Lakes is a major hub. I can't really go into all the infrastructure spending and everything in this video, otherwise we'll go for a long time. But I do offer my clients like an area report which outlines all the spending, like there's billions of dollars being spent, so many different industries going into this area, and also into the Logan area, which is making it a really diverse economy. And it isn't just reliant on say the Amberley base, like the Amberley base, or reliant on say the university or anything like that. It's really diverse, and it has great transport nodes. Like you can get from Springfield Lakes into Brisbane quite easily with the train line. So most of my purchases tend to be pretty close to the Springfield Lakes side of Ipswich. And yes, it's really hard to buy in these areas, but if you do buy in these areas, you're going to see that growth. So you're looking at sort of Red Bank Plains, and when you look at Red Bank Plains, you want to make sure you're buying, there is areas where the houses are literally cracking in half. So you want to make sure you do your research. There are pockets, it's pretty straightforward, pockets within Red Bank Plains where I'm not buying, but a lot of Red Bank Plains are fine. Like I purchased heaps of properties there. You can see right here where you got Augustine Heights at medium house price 730, and then you go into Springfield Lakes, it's like around the 700s. But these areas I've got that I like Red Bank Plains. Haven't quite gone Collingwood Park yet. And then you've got Goodna down the bottom there. I probably would like to quickly touch on the flooding too. So there's more flooding in Ipswich, around near the river. So when you look at a property in the Ipswich area, just Google Ipswich flood maps, and you can definitely quite easily, it's a free tool, check if a property's got flooding or not. I use another software, but just make sure you check for flooding when you're looking at the Ipswich area. Mainly around Goodna and Red Bank. So I'll stop moving this around, but so here's the Brisbane River and just around here. So you've got, Goodna. So this area, it all floods around here. So you want to just do your flood checks. So on the Ipswich Council, they've got a free flood map, so you check that. But it only goes so far, and there's like a sort of direction, but you can check all of that online for free. And then if we go over towards Logan again, within Marsden, there's a bit of flooding that comes through. You can see this little water, this section here. So this floods and it goes through Marsden. So you got to check on the Logan website, and also they've got a new flood map too. So you need to check on the new flood map on the Logan website. But other than that, there's not too much flooding in the Logan and the Ipswich area, because a lot of people call me up and they say, oh, what about the flooding? It's a simple check, and just look at the flood map and look, hey, will this say if the flooding got a bit worse in the future, will this place be affected? And you can easily look at it and work out whether or not it will be flooded in the future. If you're buying inner city Brisbane, definitely do your checks. But once again, it doesn't flood everywhere in Brisbane. It just floods a lot in West End, and then it can go all the way through, and it sort of just spiders out. And then that's the same as sort of Wynnum side of town as well. So those are your areas. Ipswich, Logan, try to buy in under 600k. And if you want to get your house and land package, jump on and do your research, look at comparable sales, and make sure you don't just overpay for an investment property, because it's not your family home. It's generally an investment property, and you want to buy it at a good price. So I just want to wrap that up. When you're looking for your next investment property, it's your ultimate goal to buy that investment property at or below market value, and you want to buy into the market, not at the top of the market, but you want to buy right in the middle, just so you can get that capital growth. So then you can use that capital growth to get your next investment property. But if you are looking to buy into the Brisbane market and you want some help, definitely reach out. Go onto my website, envisionproperty.com.au, where we can have a free strategy call. I can learn about your situation. I can run you through how I work and how I've been helping investors, and potentially I could help you buy your next investment property. My goal as a buyer's agent is to find investors properties below market value. I generally find them off market, and I negotiate them, for a really good price. So then they can leverage those properties to get their next one, not in 5 years, but in the next, 2 years, hopefully. But thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel. I want to start creating some more content around how to find hotspots across not just Brisbane, but Australia, and some of the tips around negotiating on property. But until next time, see you.